face. Not a fan.
More of a truly guy, huh?
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, I mean, there's been some interesting stuff happening the past week. Anything that you guys want to bring up first before we get started?
Hit it, Brandon.
All right. Well, let's just jump into it, guys. Coolest thing that I saw this past week, I think, is kind of what Dave brought up a little while ago. And I'll let you kind of tell the story, but there was like a thievery in Iceland.
Yeah, so this is actually an article in Vanity Fair, which is like funny because you do not expect them to be covering like cryptocurrency or Bitcoin even.
Or theft, really.
Or theft, yeah. It's like but I mean, yeah, it just goes to show everybody wants a piece of us these days. Yeah, so in Iceland, there's a very low like amount of like criminal activity, and I'm gonna botch all the stats for this, but like I think like one guy dies in like Iceland per year or something like that. So
from crime, not
from
like
crime.
right.
We have our one Icelandic funeral. Yeah.
We choose one.
Reminds me. Do you guys see that? What's that?
What is that movie where the cliff?
It was like
Midsummer.
Yeah, it was a creepy movie, but what it reminds me of.
Yeah, so there's a huge Bitcoin mining operation in Iceland, and this guy drugs the person who's on duty, and the guy goes home, and then he comes back. This is the security guard, and like half of the whole operation, like all the equipment and the Bitcoins they'd been mining were stolen in hardware.
Wow.
Did the article say how he drugged them?
So not exactly. It just says that
That'd be a little suspicious. Somebody shows up at the store and you're like the front door and you don't know who they are and they're like, "Hey, eat this real quick."
Well,
I feel like it was gonna be. It's probably.
So he was at a happy hour, and
So you don't know yet how he did it. All you know is that the guy felt sick and he went home. So
this also sounds a little suspicious for the security guard.
Yeah.
It's like I knew what I was guarding.
Convenient.
Yeah,
inside job.
Felt sick, went home. You know, the cameras were off, all that kind of stuff. You know, Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. But there's your hot takes.
Are you talking
We're talking about hot
Twitter?
takes now, yeah.
Dude, that was absurd. I saw that actually.
Yeah, dude. It's been a great meme. Did you guys see also like Hillary Clinton was on Trevor Noah's show and he like made a joke about it and she just laughed. It was like the most awkward thing I've ever seen of like he's like, and you killed, you know, his like voice, but like, you killed Jeffrey Epstein, right? And she's like, ha 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 ha.
I feel like Jeffrey Epstein would have been a great Bitcoiner.
Did you see Chris Benedict's tweet?
I don't think we want to put him out there.
compliment.
It's like our face.
You know, I'm just saying, if there's one person out there who needs an asset that's unconfiscatable, it's Jeffrey Epstein. So,
Yeah. Score one.
Bitcoin or Monero, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
So, what's the outcome of this mining story?
Yeah, so basically what happens is the guy got caught, and he talks about how he ran away and he like runs away to the Icelandic like up country, which it's not very much, and eventually he's caught.
How much mining equipment did he steal?
So I believe it was 500 BTC is the equivalent of what it was all worth. That's how they're like rating it.
5 mil.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Decent stash. Was he gonna like just resell it? Because surely he's not gonna like take it with him and try and set up his own mining
Yeah, it's
farm.
gonna be so obvious.
Yeah.
He had to have like an 18-wheeler there to like load the equipment. Probably. Like I just don't.
And in the mining scene in
Yeah.
Iceland too, it's like,
How big
oh
could
no,
it
these
be?
are my miners.
Yeah, it's like, well, we don't know where the miners went, but there's a 40% spike in electricity consumption down the road.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
Dude's
the
got an
story
electric
sounds like
toothbrush.
bullshit.
Yeah.
That's probably why it's in Vanity Fair.
Yeah.
Boom, the fire takes are coming out.
All right. Next story.
Next story. Well, yeah. So, dude, my personal favorite that I saw was, it's not really Bitcoin related until it is, but the Starlink sent up another 60 satellites. I mean, this is like absolutely the coolest thing happening, and you're drinking coffee and not your White Claw. Is that what's happening right
Yes,
now?
Say
that's definitely what's happening.
All right. Well, you know, you do you, man. But
Until White Claw is sponsoring this podcast, I'm not drinking any White Claw. So let's just let the record state. White Claw costs.
Oh man, this is like they're gonna sponsor now, and you're gonna like just be chugging White Claws all day.
All day,
That'd
every
be
day.
great.
All day, every day.
Just
Honestly,
put some
dude.
vodka in it.
Please,
As long
please,
as you're paying me
White Claw.
sats, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. But yeah, Starlink sent up another 60 satellites. I mean, it's like this is the biggest thing that no one's talking about, I feel like. And Dave, you and I actually watched some of it. It was pretty incredible.
Videos are really cool.
Yeah, it's actually, to borrow a phrase, this is good for Bitcoin. Half the planet still doesn't have access to the internet. So fiber optic speed, internet that's low cost, accessible anywhere on the planet, that really opens up a lot of new people to be Bitcoin users in the most remote, most disenfranchised places, which is honestly, I bet, highly correlated with a lack of financial services in those areas too. So I feel like Starlink is really positioning SpaceX to be not just like a massive telecommunications company, but because they control that access, they could really be, Bitcoin and digital finance and digital banking kind of seems like a natural progression of what that could be.
Well, yeah, and I mean, like, they're gonna be providing Wi-Fi to like every country under the moon, right? And each of those countries has their own currency, right? How nice would it be for them to be able to not have to play the Forex markets all day and be able to just accept?
Well, no, and it makes like total sense because like once you kind of remove yourself from Earth and you start thinking in this mentality that's like bigger than Earth, it's almost like, why would I want to be subjected to the pettiness of like 200, how many countries are there? 240 or something like that?
Like 214.
Like 200 plus countries of pettiness. Like you can't even follow that much pettiness. It's like be like nonstop, just Twitter drama. So, like it just naturally makes sense for something that supersedes the laws of Earth to also just be like, yeah, and we have a monetary system that supersedes all your bullshit politics too.
So can you guys explain how Starlink is connected to SpaceX?
Yeah. So basically, Elon Musk and his genius realized that their main customers of SpaceX are the telecommunication companies putting up satellites that they monetize for this huge amount of money.
Right.
And so he basically did the math on like, okay, well, we've brought the cost of sending stuff up into space down so much. What would the economics look if we wanted to just launch our own satellites up and provide our own internet access?
Uh-huh.
And they realized that if they launch, I forget what the exact number, I think it's like 10,000, but they may have increased it, satellites into space. You can have 100% global coverage at fiber optic speeds for the entire world for internet access.
Wow.
And the kind of big vision of SpaceX is they want to colonize Mars. Well, they don't make enough money off of their current business model to do that. So the whole ploy here is to create a new business, a revenue stream for SpaceX that generates so much cash flow that they can use that to finance their Mars colony. So I think they're projecting they want to take like 3% of global internet market share, which the global telecommunications market's a $1 trillion a year industry. So
Wow.
3% is like 30 bill a year.
That exists right now.
That exists right now.
With half of the world not
Exactly.
even. Yeah.
Exactly. And so 30 billion a year, that's like several times bigger than all of NASA's budget. They can use that to finance the next step.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Super crazy.
I wonder how like censored internet provider, like internet countries feel about this, like China, that their people would have access to pretty much anything on the internet that they could want to.
Would
Yeah.
this circumvent
Yeah.
the Great Firewall? Is that how that works?
How did
I think
So you have to get like a little array or dish. I think it costs like maybe $50 or $60 that you have to buy one-time cost so you can connect the satellite. But then once you have that, like there's nothing that can block you.
A cell phone wouldn't
Unless it's
just go
made-
around that? Like, do you need that with a cell phone? If they have like a Wi-Fi chip already in them?
I don't know the answer
Yeah,
to that.
I don't know either.
But I do know that what's interesting is like SpaceX's like ability to launch things into space is unrivaled. Like no nation state
Especially
has
at the cost that they can do it.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
the core.
pretty
That's
much
the
the
key
lowest
thing.
cost in the industry.
And so when they can put like a satellite into space for tens of thousands of dollars, and the only way to take a satellite out of space is to shoot it down with like an ICBM or something that cost, tens and tens of millions or more dollars. It's like there's no possible way for a government to be like, we don't like what you're doing, SpaceX. We're going to stop you. Like, it's just like, okay, build a competing satellite or, space company. He's so far ahead of everyone else. It's crazy. So, I really feel like, you have this permissionless universe that exists out there in space. That's kind of like pirates on the ocean. And, eventually there had to be some like rules of the sea. So like, I feel like Elon Musk is in this cool place that he can like write the rules of space, so to speak. And you have this completely permissionless satellite-based telecommunication system,
Not if Space Force has something to say about it. All right.
Space Force flying on SpaceX rockets.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Dude, and like the other thing too is like all of the Starlink is really just like a Trojan horse of them also perfecting their rocketry, right? Like, I mean, they're just using this as a way to
launch more rockets.
Yeah.
They're doing, I think, 60 at a time right now, but with the new Starship that's about to go up, they're going to do 600 at a time. Cool. So they're saying that this is going to be commercially active next year. I think they're saying $30 a month for like a standard person to get internet access. And then they're going to have like a special product for hedge funds that need to have like super high speed for like HFT stuff. And I mean, it's working and running right now. There's like 120 satellites already up, and it's like they're already playing games and stuff on it. It's
a little bit less, right? Because I think a few of them
failed,
got out of orbit, like only 3 out of the first 60. And did they say whether all of them made it to their orbit yet?
I don't know. I haven't read any updates since they did the launch.
Haven't seen it, but I mean, at least as of now, it was a totally successful launch, which is crazy.
And 3% is like, I feel like a reasonable thing for them to get. Imagine if they got more.
Which they're building a bigger market.
If they're going to be cheaper, that's like half the cost of like your basic internet package with like AT&T or Comcast or something like that.
So I mean,
completely disrupt the telecom
if they got 10% market share, I mean, they'd literally be like a Fortune like 50 company. I mean, it's like the cash flow they'd be spitting out every month would be tens of billions of dollars that they'd be investing all into rockets, and they're already years ahead of anyone else. I mean, like, dude, honestly, Elon Musk could just end up like colonizing and running Mars until they get so wealthy and powerful that they take over Earth. Calling it now.
Yeah, that's the hot take of the day right there.
Elon Musk, 2070.
2070.
And I mean, the Bitcoin conversation there too is that like, if you were going to mine Bitcoin on Mars, like the time delay between like propagating blocks from Mars and from Earth, vice versa, like you could foresee eventually there being some sort of economic war of like we're the powerhouse, the central point of mining versus Earth is the central point of mining, and like there being some real contentious kind of conflict there, right?
It's like the Bitcoin astronomy piece.
Yeah,
Unchained Capital put out.
So I don't remember what was in that article exactly, but I do know when I'm basically exhausted of. I don't know why Bitcoin couldn't work. And the question of how do you deal with block time delays when information can't go faster than the speed of light is a really good question that if there's not a really sound answer to, then it means that Bitcoin's going to have problems.
Wait, can you try and explain that? What is it? The fact that
so people solve a block.
Yeah.
All right. They propagate that block to other people so they can build on top of that block. And on Earth, there's been a lot of great developers that have worked on the relays for miners, like propagating blocks. And so like in seconds, basically, in most places of the world, you get the block and you're mining on the right block. Otherwise, you could be mining on the wrong chain and just wasting your money. And that's like what selfish attacks are called, et cetera. So in space, the fastest that we can send information that we know of right now is the speed of light.
Yeah.
And so
it takes light 14 minutes to get from Earth to Mars.
Yeah, meaning that like by the time a block that was found on Earth is propagated to Mars for miners on Mars to start mining, the next block's already been found on Earth, and so they can never catch up. And so it kind of leads to the scenario where there's like this natural 51% mining attack that's happening between like Earth's economy and Mars's economy, and whoever solves the block has like a 14-minute advantage over the next person.
Yeah.
And then you could potentially have where like, Mars decides to solve a few blocks in a row and then shoot all 6 of those blocks, let's say, over to Earth to propagate. And it's like, oh, they're way further ahead than Earth is. And like,
I mean, mathematically, it would be guaranteed to happen. I mean, just if you have 14 minutes delay, like blocks get found all the time seconds apart from each other.
Mhm.
So the question is just like, well, who in the long term has a cheaper cost of energy and has a cheaper cost of mining equipment? Right now, Earth has a good advantage, but
would it be
maybe
Mars?
not always.
It's closer to it's Earth is closer to the sun, so Earth would probably always have like better energy theoretically, right?
Yeah, I don't
Potentially.
Yeah,
It's not
but
that
I think it'd be
simple.
more complicated than that, though. Yeah.
I mean, think of like, if you have a small colony on Mars and you can just stick a huge nuclear plant in the opposite side of the country or the opposite side of the world, like you don't have to worry about the fallout from. You could really start cranking up energy production there.
So maybe this is why Elon says that he's the CEO of Dogecoin, because he knows that he needs to run an alternative security mechanism other than Bitcoins on the next planet.
Even the memes are thinking one step ahead.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's so crazy that this is so close to actually happening, and it's happening in front of our eyes. It's almost kind of like Bitcoin, where like Bitcoin's happening in front of people's eyes, and it's really like transformative to society. And people are like, like completely unaware of it. And, like Elon is like launching next month Starship. What we've been talking about with Starlink is live right now. Like, crazy.
No one's talking about it. Starship's the one that's going to go to Mars. Is that right?
It's the one that goes to Mars. It's the one that can fit. It's designed to fit 100 people at a time per launch, and it's designed to. They think they could fit 600 satellites per launch. But it's like it's a little bit like a challenge to people who read about it, because it's almost like, okay, if you were alive in the 1600s or the 1500s, and you were like, because we're Bitcoiners, we're the aristocrats of society, let's say. So, you're a lord in like Spain, and Christopher Columbus comes back to like update the court on like, I've discovered a new world, and it's filled.
You can call me
full of
Lord
treasures.
Brandon now, by the way.
Yeah. All right, Lord Brandon. And you're like in the court and like hearing this, and you're like, okay, there's a whole new world that I can go and explore. I could go get on a ship right now and go over there and like start something new. But like, that's also like really,
Or life's
really
pretty cush
There's
right
a lot
here.
of-
yeah. And so it's
gonna
like, are
take a
you the
while.
type of person
Yeah.
who is like, nah, I'm good in Europe? Or are you the type of person who's like, I'm going to start the new world. I'm going to go build the next, America or whatever. And it's like, you would hope you're in the pioneering camp, but then when you actually put yourself in that scenario, it's like,
That's why we're going to send all the persecuted Bitcoin Cash people over there.
One of the funniest things too about it was like when they first announced the Mars mission, and it was like, yeah, you're probably going to die on this mission. We can't guarantee you'll ever make it back. But we're looking for volunteers. I think it was like 25,000 people or 30,000 people signed up within like a couple hours.
They're like, yes, that's what I want. Yeah, that's
So-
actually
If you're gonna go out
crazy
somewhere,
to-
that's not a bad way to go.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Also, too, in this,
Well, unless it's like
Yeah.
you make it into orbit and then, you just get crumpled up and it's like, oh, sorry. You didn't make it to Mars, but we'll climb on your shoulders. Thank you.
Great work.
But that'd be a hell of a ride, though.
Reminds me, I have Kerbal Space Program. You guys ever play that computer game? Really fun computer game. You basically like build like a little NASA yourself. But the very first time I played it, I had one of my rockets that I put in orbit around the sun. And there's like, whenever I got back into the game, there was always just like this one astronaut just stuck in orbit around the sun. And they'd run out of fuel and there's nothing else they were doing. They were just orbiting all the time. It was total tangent, but reminds me of that. I think that Kerbal is just still, to this day, is still orbiting the sun. So think about that.
it's crazy to imagine though. Like, I wonder how many people. I mean, you said it's 250,000 at least in a day, within a day.
Might have been 25,000. This
Yeah,
was years ago, so my memory's a little bit.
Yeah,
bad,
but it's just interesting to think about like how many people would probably just like jump on it to get out of like whatever they're doing. And we live in such like a cushy time too.
yeah.
It's weird to think about.
The number of people that are willing to pay, like, what is it, like $1 million to go to space for that opportunity? There's a lot of people that are willing to do that too.
Yeah.
So I'm not to make this the Elon Musk podcast, but another interesting thing about his whole trifecta of companies that he has going on is he owns Solar City, the solar company,
Now part of Tesla.
now part of Tesla. And when you think about like the long-term economics of mining, that becomes like totally commoditized on the chip fabrication and ASIC chip itself. then really the thing that matters most is your energy input. It's already like that, but like it's going to really get like that once mining is beyond where chip design is. It's like, okay, well, in that sense, the person who has the cheapest power will become the biggest miner. And in theory, as the cost of production for solar keeps dropping, which is like over the past like 20 years, it's just consistently every year it's plummeted. So like, I don't remember the exact numbers, but it's fallen, maybe 75% or more over the past like 10, 15 years.
And it's like, it's a linear decrease too, like, right? It's not tapering off or anything.
No, it's
like
not
that.
tapering,
it's
right?
Consistent.
And so like if it does that again 10 years from now, like solar will be way cheaper than any other form of energy. So then it's like, okay, well then it kind of, you could say the biggest solar company in the world is naturally the person to be the biggest miner in the world. And so like Elon's kind of positioned himself where he's like, all right, mining, I got that. Solar City, Mars money, I got that. SpaceX, you're
Communications,
too lazy
Wi-Fi.
to send it with a phone. I got Neuralink for you. Just telepathy,
Neuralink's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool that what he's got going on, and there's just like no way that he doesn't eventually become a diehard Bitcoiner. Like he should already be a diehard Bitcoiner. He created PayPal, but like as he like butts up against the inevitability of what he's building.
He's also doing things that no one else in the world is doing right now. And like he's leading the charge on all of these things. So like for him to be a Bitcoiner when there's already this like really strong community, it's probably something he's like, oh, I can go back to that. Maybe he owns Bitcoin and he's just not super public about it.
Yeah.
I mean, do you buy into the theory that like because he started PayPal, he doesn't want to promote Bitcoin or anything like that?
No, I think Peter Thiel said publicly that when they created PayPal, they wanted to build something like Bitcoin. They just didn't know how to do it. And so that's why we have PayPal.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, the original idea was really the ethos of permissionless internet money that can be sent anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's dope. Cool.
Can't wait for him to be the CEO of Bitcoin.
Can't wait for him to speak at Bitcoin 2020.
Hey, Elon, you hear that? You hear that? We tweeted at you. Check us out.
Don't ignore us.
Thanks, beer man. Everyone good on your beers, by the way?
Yep.
Guys, all right? On your claws and your crispers?
Yeah, we're good. So I would say
Hey, David, when's your call?
you're fine. Don't check.
In 2 minutes. 2 minutes. So we got enough time to go into something juicy.
So the y'all saw the unknown fund that just sprung up, right?
No.
It's like this very cypherpunky kind of website saying that
They use the Guy Fawkes mask as like the emblem.
Yeah, and they're like, we're people who
Black.
met on 4chan and we have $75 million and we want to invest in Bitcoin companies.
So Chainlink investors.
And I mean, who knows where they got their Bitcoin from? But
I
they're
think
now
Chris DeRose said that there's nothing more scary than 4chaners becoming millionaires off of fake digital money. And what they would do with that money. So anyway, go on.
Nostradamus, Chris DeRostradamus.
Chris DeRostradamus, you love that.
You can pay me for that one, Chris. But yeah, so basically they're starting this fund and they are looking to invest in Bitcoin companies, and you just have to send them an email and they'll invest into you.
A little bit more than that. They're looking to invest in Bitcoin companies, but they're particularly find important companies that are dealing with anonymity and privacy, and that's going to be the focus of where these investments are going to be deployed, because they hate the way that like companies are consuming our data, and like that you can't be a part or buy a product from one of these major like monopolies or global corporations without having to hand over your data.
Speaking of which, if you're a Spotify premium member, you probably just got an email where you can sync your Google account with your Spotify account, and they send you a free is it a Google Home? Is that what it's called?
Google Mini.
Google Mini, yeah.
It's like a little Alexa.
Yeah, just so you can have you can share all that data.
So we can
I
listen
ordered
on
something from
everything.
Amazon the other day, and they just sent me a free Amazon Dot,
Yeah, that's what
and
they're doing.
and it's like scary.
Yeah.
It's like there's literally
Here, have our microphone. Say whatever you want to do.
it changes.
what is it? It's like if you're not paying for the product, you are the product.
Yeah, that's
Except for this podcast. Except for this podcast.
In my last company, we had two Alexas, And we had them for like a month or two, and then we got an email from our developers, and they were like, "You guys need to like throw those away immediately. It's a huge security risk." Yeah. So now Google's trying to put ears in everybody's homes.
Well, we should just put a whole bunch of Alexas in this office and see what they come up with.
We'll make them talk to each other.
Well, there's the whole scheme of like who was the person who did the commercial where they're like, "Hey Alexa," via the Super Bowl commercial, and it made everyone's like Alexas go off.
Yeah.
We need to get these Alexas hooked up to like Coinbase for people, and then Amazon needs to like connect them or something, and then
my
someone can
God.
run a commercial like, "Hey Alexa, buy $1,000 worth of Bitcoin right now." Just spam,
The great Bitcoin bump of the 2020 Super Bowl. Oh, that'd be great. There's also that when like South Park had one of their episodes where Cartman was yelling into the TV like, "Alexa, put something dirty into the shopping cart," and it was just adding stuff to everyone's shopping carts who had an Alexa there. It was so funny. But totally creepy that they're just like forcing microphones into people's hands at this point.
Yeah.
But to go back to the anonymous,
We already got them.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I definitely already ordered mine too.
Cameraman is pointing at his cell phone in
Yes.
case you couldn't see.
the trick is just don't do anything in your life that's important or useful or questions power.
Or it goes
And
against
you
the
just-
masses. Yeah.
Problem solved. The anonymous fund, the one part of that doesn't work is that if you're going to invest into a company, you can't be anonymous. So again, why we need Starlink? We can have a satellite system that we can put some anonymous company up that only runs on the satellites, and shoot the satellites down if you don't want the company to.
And I
exist.
wonder-
Excuse me. You use a swear word, and we have the BitPiggy swear jar. So
10,000 sets.
yeah, you need to put some sats in there. We can do it after the cameras go off, though.
We'll do it offset.
I only collect sats. I don't pay sats. I'm sorry.
It's for a good
You mean
cause.
stack sats?
House rules. All right.
Yeah. I mean, I feel dirty telling the CEO to pay money into the swear jar, but
Actually, funny story. We had, I don't know if it's in the office anymore. I think I took it home. We had a dartboard in the old office, and if you missed the dartboard, you had to tip this Campbell's
I heard about that.
soup can that had a QR code on it. I think Ledger sent it to us. Thank you, Ledger. And it was like $1 if you missed the dartboard, and it accumulated. Missed a lot of darts.
we're not athletes here. We're not athletes.
No, don't know much about sport ball, but at the height of the last bubble when we checked the can, it had I think $3,500 or $4,500
Oh
in
my
it.
gosh.
Yeah. So save that swear jar.
But back to your point, so could you just do a lot of shell companies to get around showing that you have you're connected to a fund?
I feel like the way they're probably doing it is it's more donation based than it is in pure investment. I don't know for sure, but
Giving away free Bitcoin.
I don't know.
Yeah, if you're listeing to this podcast, our
Hello.
company is accepting donations from your fund.
We love anonymity and we love privacy.
Yeah, well, that's the best investor you could possibly have. So, yeah.
That's true. Yeah, what if they're like, you're a totally anonymous investor, but we're going to show up. We're going to be pretty hands-on about this.
We're pretty hands-on, but you don't know who we are. Interesting, too, they used an Edward Snowden quote about privacy, so I'm just going to go ahead and assume that y'all were at Bitcoin 2019. And that's
I
why.
learned yesterday that the only person that Edward Snowden is following on Twitter, the NSA.
Yep.
That's pretty funny.
If someone donated money to you too, I don't think you could call it an investment. I think taxably by the IRS, it's income.
Oh yeah.
And you'd probably have to even disclose the source of the income.
But the source was the anonymous fund.
Yeah, but I feel like people make donations
Or
all the
unknown
time
fund?
and
Delaware
ask them
address.
to be unnamed or to remain anonymous, right? So I feel like in that sense, I don't
Yeah,
know.
but those are small checks.
yeah.
I don't know how much their check sizes are, but if
Yeah,
they're
I would-
writing $1 million checks, it's I don't know.
So I think in some states you can, instead of being you don't have to actually you can have a company connected to a bank account, which is the idea of the shell company. So
Yeah, so I've looked into the shell game before.
yeah.
Not surprised.
I've actually deployed many shell companies. Doesn't work as well as you would think it would work.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Would you go into that more?
So one of the limitations is that they need to know everyone who has what's called like I don't know if it's called economic interest or something like that, but if you own greater than a certain percentage of equity, you have to disclose those investors. I think
It's like 10%.
majority
right?
shareholders over 25%.
Yeah, in Singapore it's 15%. So so if you own a company and then someone's an investor, you have to disclose those investors. If they use a shell company, then it's like, okay, well, how much do you own of that shell company? And it would have to be less than 15% to not be reported. Well, you could create another shell company, but then now you're having to like create like 10 shell companies. And then the thing is like, first off, not that cheap to create 10 shell companies. Second off, lawyers, you would think like they're in the business of helping you do whatever it is that you want to do, but they're not really. They're like, why are you creating 10 shell companies? So, it's better off to just go to a jurisdiction where they like cater to, privacy or good taxes and just create one shell and just, do it the right way through that jurisdiction than try to create like this maze of shell companies to do
Delaware?
Canary Islands.
Not Delaware.
Not Delaware.
No, not the
Probably
United
not
States.
the United States, yeah.
I would say Caymans, Malta, Switzerland, but there's some nuances there.
Don't give away all your secrets.
Yeah.
I hope you guys are enjoying this content.
Frantically
I've said
taking
too.
notes.
I've said too much. By the way, but literally every shell company I've set up has ended in me getting no value out of it, having to shut it down eventually, and spending a lot of money to set it up and a lot of money to shut it down. So, don't recommend that experience.
It's a trial by fire. By the way, I just found out it's called Unknown Fund. I think I called it Anonymous Fund at first.
Oh, yeah.
So
I thought you
let's.
said unknown.
Oh, maybe I did say unknown. If I said anonymous, put like a little dunce hat on my head at this point, and like, there you go. So yeah,
I'm doing it.
I hope I got it right, so that I just look like a fool, just like making the face right there. But yeah, do you guys have anything else that you guys saw that you want to bring up before we kind of wrap?
I saw a tweet from Pomp earlier. I haven't seen any like sources behind it, but he said that China was like testing out increased capital controls in like certain parts of China that would basically limit use of cash or like completely eliminate use of cash in those areas. So everything has to be digital.
Yeah, the concept of China unbanning Bitcoin trading would be big. Heard somebody talking about that this week. You guys, how likely do you guys think that is?
There's a lot of money that already moves into Bitcoin in China. So it's, I don't really think it matters if they ban it or not, because it's
Not
like,
really.
water going down a mountain, like people will find a way. But, I think Bitcoin's really got to prioritize a good security solution, because I got to say, it's
Privacy.
like a dystopian, privacy. Thank you. Dystopian world where they force everyone to use digital RMB, and then they're able to, with pinpoint accuracy relative to how they can do it in the analog world, know when people are going from Bitcoin into digital dollars, etc. And they know who you are.
Yeah, the blockchain analysis for Bitcoin, and then if it was a digital yuan, it would be pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I mean, digital currency with like the ability to manipulate it through a central entity is like the ultimate vehicle for control, right? There's nothing you can create better to control people than how they spend their money.
Yep.
Well,
And
Sad. No.
happy hour, huh?
Once again, we return to why we need to colonize Mars as fast as possible.
Right.
Mars will be a free market for sure.
All right.
Well, yeah.
I have a topic. We have to at least mention PayPal pulling out of the Pornhub deal. It's like millions and millions of dollars that they're just walking away from. And
Did they say
prime
why?
opportunity for somebody to step in and fill that hole.
Verge coin, right?
I don't know if that was intentional or not, but that was pretty good.
Get mad. All right.
Did they say why they were stepping out?
I can't remember. I didn't read the whole article. I saw a headline. I'm a headline guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The entire world is now.
Yeah. There's
the
so
80-20
much.
rules. The 20% that you can read that get 80% of the meaning.
Yeah.
We can extract the meaning from someone else at a later date.
I can't wait till we get to the point where it's like, oh, I'm just the first 3 words.
Yeah.
Just read. I don't read the full headline, just the first half of the headline.
Too much stuff going on.
Yeah.
Don't have the time to read the whole
Trump
headline.
gone. Bye.
I read to the comma and then I quit. Yeah, I don't. Dude, the analog system is just such a wreck. So we're watching the death of it. The more of this stuff, the faster and faster it spirals out of control. So
The more bold people try and get with like manipulating the way people can spend money, the more likely people are to just ditch the whole system. You know, I mean, this is another example. Like, if I'm going to be using PayPal for that, I'm just going to stop using PayPal. You know, it's like they're trying to force habits, whereas really it's just going to force them off the platform. So,
well, trust works 2 ways. And if you have a system that's a trust-based system, and then you break people's trust in the system, they don't want to return to the system. And so, like, if you kick a whole bunch of people off of Pornhub who depend upon it for their livelihoods, and you seriously disrupt their life, and then they go about finding an alternative via Bitcoin or whatever, and they get used to, you know, what do they need to do in order to be able to live off of Bitcoin, or what tools do they need, and then all of a sudden PayPal's like, hey, we're accepting, you know, Pornhub again. Okay, well, why would I switch back to you when you fucked me over the first time?
Yeah.
So, shit. Oh,
Hey, that's
It's like 30K now.
Wait, what did we say? 10,000.
10,000. That's 30,000, I think.
yeah, make sure we have like the little overlay for like every time I pick it up like that.
Once we get some money rolling into it, I'm going to put a ticker up. And we'll
What-
have a,
Nice.
Well, it'd be weird too if Pornhub switched to Bitcoin too. Is there would also be a privacy need.
well, you know, Pornhub has, I think, Verge.
Yeah.
Isn't it Verge?
Really?
Yeah, Verge went on there and then within like a week got 51% attacked.
Dude, so true story. When you know, in our sacrilegious days, when we hosted a blockchain conference called Distributed, you know, it's an enterprise blockchain, the IBMs and the suits of the world, and you know, we're all there. My mom is there. My mom is talking and meeting people. Introduces herself to some guy. He owned Pornhub, and he was at the
CEO?
conference. The
The
CEO,
CEO.
of Pornhub was just like, "Yo, Pornhub, you might have heard of it." My mom's like, "No."
Sounds like a nice website.
Yeah,
Which distributed was it?
distributed 2018.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Crazy.
and he was just like chilling there.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hanging out with David's mom.
yeah. Whoa.
hey,
I didn't mean like that.
But yeah, so I mean, it's kind of like when you break people's trust, it's like the Soviet system. Like, people in Russia don't put money in banks, really. They just don't trust the banks. Most people, when they get the paycheck, they withdraw all the cash from the ATM right away. Well, it's because they got wiped out in the collapse of the Soviet Union. And so when the banks say it's safe, they're like, yeah, that's what you told us last time.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, the key thing is they have to have an alternative, because otherwise they'll come back because they got nowhere else to go. But if they have a viable alternative, you know, it's a sticky system. Like, once they switch over to it, they're not switching back. So, you know, the more porn providers that PayPal wants to disown, the better. The more companies they want to disown, the better. Keep it up. Let's go harder and faster into it. I can give you all sorts of shady companies that you should probably debank. All right.
You'd literally say anything. It's going to be an innuendo.
Yeah.
I think they're crazy though. I think it's stupid. What a dumb move. I mean, Dave, weren't you telling me earlier? It's like Pornhub accounts for like they were like the third most, the third highest traffic, like
and
total internet usage across the world.
I'll get this wrong. It's like Google, Facebook, Amazon's actually fairly small, and then like Twitter, and then maybe one other social media platform, and then Pornhub. Pornhub's like number 4 or 5 as far as like making up internet traffic in the world.
Which I actually thought they would have been like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, because like social media platforms aren't like as unanimous as. It's crazy to think about that.
Well, you know, sometimes it helps to think about like what percentage of your time you spend worrying about certain issues to determine like how much like of a priority or how important they are in the world. And it's like, okay, what percentage of time do humans spend thinking about sex
Yeah.
relative to like how much time they spend thinking about, you know,
The future of
technology
money.
or the, you know, whatever. And it's like, all right, pretty big chunk. So it makes sense that like Pornhub should be like right up there, you know?
That, and if you think about like in other countries that aren't first world, like more developing nations, like what professions are available, probably a lot of professions, maybe even majority in most countries and globally, that don't require internet access like at the job itself. So when they go home, if they do have internet access, like what are they going to be doing?
Interesting
That's an
idea.
interesting angle, yeah.
You know, one of the things that I'm most interested in Bitcoin is like what marketplaces is there a disconnect between labor that wants to fulfill a service and like people who want to buy a service. And, you know, it's like maybe the best example is, you know, if you fly, or not best, but an example is if you fly in or out of an airport, you see people like on the runway who have the like little like batons and they're like waving planes in.
Mhm.
That's the same job no matter what airport in the world you go to. But there's a huge amount of variability between what all the different people pay relative to the market that they're in.
Wow.
Well, the internet equalizes people's access to certain markets. I can provide a service from a very remote place. And so, you know, any area where people who are very impoverished have equal footing in a skill as people who are wealthy is a big arbitrage opportunity for like consumers in the wealthy place to buy from providers in the impoverished place. So I mean, not that I'm advocating for impoverished people to become sex workers, but you know, people who have access to the internet, who that's how they make their income.
Oh, right.
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like more than 1 billion people live off of $1 a day. You know, 2 billion people live off $2 a day. I think 80% of the planet lives on less than $10 a day. So it's an interesting idea of like how can we you know bring more American consumers looking for high quality porn to buy it from markets that you know are poor.
Yeah. And if you live in America and you can be a sex worker and make ends meet, then like you live in another country, like that's definitely going to work out for you. You're going to be top 1% in that country.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Nice.
I mean,
I like that idea.
that seems like a really good and dangerous place to end this show. But yeah, so real quick, everyone, tell us where we can find you on Twitter. I know you got to
We'll
go.
start with
Only
you.
15 minutes late to this call.
Perfect.
It's not bad for you.
Say your name and your Twitter account. Yep.
David Bailey. Some people call me Bernie. I'm just kidding. No one calls me Bernie. Twitter handle is I actually don't know what my Twitter handle
David
is.
F. Bailey.
David F. Bailey. That's what it is.
Nice.
Dave Hollerith. It's at DS Hollers, so DSHOLLERITH.
Wait,
ITH?
I think it's ERS,
I just
right?
spelled my last name. The claw's getting to me.
It happens to me too. I
I'll put it
understand.
on the screen. I'll put it on the screen.
Yeah.
Put the dunce hat on him too, please.
Yeah.
I'm at Brandon_D_Green, and I'm still working on getting a better handle than that.
Yeah, you need a better handle.
At Green 2020. I'm at Bitcoin Cast.
All right, awesome. One last cheers, guys.
Cheers.
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 I'm empty.